in the top left-hand side. Our red Protoss player. This is herO, representing Dragon Kaiser, of course. Bottom left, blue Terran from the Shopify Rebellion. ByuN. Game 1 of the series. Let's see what we've got underway. herO can be a very quirky player. ByuN's obviously shown us a lot of the TVPs today. He's trying to be pretty aggressive with Reaper Hellion and stuff. So I think these are a lot of things to be watching out for. ByuN builds his barracks over on this left-hand side right next to those minerals. You know, I got double gas in the main base. I get both those coming up. Gate and the gas coming up from herO. And yeah, I mean, just everything looking fairly normal. The forward gateway, it's like on the low ground. It's going to be a wall off with that gateway. Sniper core coming through. Probe is building. Probe continues around, and we just have a couple of SCVs going to pull. I'm going to go after the probe as well. It is ByuN's birthday. Yes, ByuN celebrating his birthday by playing some beautiful StarCraft 2. Although in Korea it's actually the new day, so I guess it's actually just past his birthday now. So unlucky ByuN. The birthday look has run out. should have won the tournament, 1 hour earlier. Next is coming up, Warp Gate coming through. Reaper comes about, going to go after some of these probes initially. As y'all can see, Reaper doing pretty decent. Actually, going to have a couple of Stalkers low. Not Stalkers, a couple of probes low. The Stalker showing up. Shame we can't finish off any of those probes though. That's going to be a nice pull around by herO. Grenade is good to give the Reaper space to get away. Should be out of here without issue now. Stalker still playing chasties on the Reaper at the moment. Warpgate's halfway through, the Adept popping. Stargate is going to start. Starport coming through as well as that probe still nibbling at the reactors. Starport coming through. Again, that probe just chronoing along as the Reaper comes over. He's going to go straight onto our probe here and is going to knock that down. So probe gets killed. Adept still through the middle of the map. Stargate coming, the Warp Gate building. It's going to be Phoenix play to start. Don't hate Phoenix because this is obviously a close by air map, so drop play is going to be more potent up that left-hand side. Phoenix are just good in general anyways, but I think even better when you have a close by air map to, take into consideration as well. So don't hate that that's the idea right now. And there's our Stalker and our Adept continue to sit in the main base. Medevac loads up and we'll take all 3 Widow Mines across, although it was a little bit messy liftoff, so we actually had to slow down. We waste a little bit of the boost time on the Medevac, which is of course just a little bit of a shame as well. Adept firing. We have our Rip again picked off. The Widow Mines gonna come dropping through. 1, 2, and 3. Phoenix gonna lift up one of those pro. My goodness. Gonna retargets a bunch here, and he's keeping it confused, and he is gonna get 7 workers in the end with this, and the Medevac is out alive. If that Medevac gets away successfully, then that is huge, because that's a good amount of damage. Okay, the Widow Mines are dead. They can't come back again, but 7 workers this early is really, really cool. Phoenix coming back into the main. We got our Marines coming up there. The Raven is on the way. Interference Matrix is coming about. Cyclones still building up as well, as we do have the units on the front just pushing in from herO. Phoenix will get rid of the Banshee very quickly. The Marines can kind of hold their own, but the Phoenix lifting up their numbers are going to take the numbers down heavily, and just need to clean up these last couple. We'll have 2 Stalkers left to keep on poking. The Adept shaded. It's in the main base. Well, this is bad as SCV's actually pulling. They will kill that Stalker as herO's kind of just left these units. He's not paying too much attention to them. This is just chaos. 2 Cyclones. Spot Point is maybe finally going to just about be the end of this. This was just aggression all about. They actually kill the Raven as it spawns. It drops an auto turret. We lose a Phoenix, but to get rid of the Raven is obviously a huge deal, so that is a nice catch. Great to see that. It's very nicely done. I'm just going to catch the medevac. Medevac will go down as it was trying to get back home. Who comes out of this ahead? Yeah, I was going to say, I feel like herO, especially with the Raven kill, the resources lost suggests that too. He still has the Phoenix to be aggressive with, and the Cyclones can lock on and deflect, but they will not get anything more than shields, so pretty reasonable. Cyclone locks on. Phoenix gonna get chased away. Rubber Bay coming up. The Immortal and Sentry's coming about. +1 attack coming in as well from the Forge as our Phoenix come back in once more. 2 racks, 2 Engineering Bays coming in, and the Orbital Command is also producing. Stim pack halfway done from ByuN. I mean, ByuN is really starting to fall behind on workers. 14 workers down. The economy difference is starting to be seen, especially as herO has a 3rd base set up. Now, ByuN has a 3rd ready to move out in a second. Obviously, taking that might be a little bit of a challenge. I guess herO doesn't have much on the ground. It's just the Phoenix that are going to fly about. But what are they really going to do to stop the base from being taken? Well, not really much, honestly. Not really much at all. Still gathering here, those Phoenix. And we do have a few more gateways coming down. Twilight Calendars in production, +1 attack coming into play as well. Extended Thermal Lance and the Charge will join us for this. Some Phoenix is coming through, hitting that Orbital Command a little bit. 1-1 combat shield still building through, and the Phoenix will get onto the Orbital once again. Just going to ping our way through that. This Oracle continues around the left-hand side, and it is going to be the missile turret medevacs coming in. Cyclone locks onto the Oracle. Oracle gets shoved away once again. Should have cancelled the Raven and Banshee. I think the Banshee's fine to keep, just because it maybe would have helped you out depending on how it went, but the Raven, when the Phoenix are camping above the starboard, probably should have never finished, yeah. It was definitely not one of the greatest choices made today. I think that's a very fair assessment. As Temple Archives coming up on the side of herO, so we're bringing that through. The Nexus is on the way for a 4th base, so we just keep on expanding herO, not stopping. Just go and expand, expand, expand. He is going to be just running away with this portion of the game for the moment. Medevacs boost up the left. Oh, did he see the Observer? Or was that just coincidence that he stopped exactly where the Observer is? I think it's just coincidence. No, he knows it's there. Okay. Alright, that was... what a spot that was from ByuN. Maybe he expects it to be there, so he's looking for it a bit more sharply than he would otherwise. Because obviously it would be kind of silly for the pros to have no vision up the left-hand side of the map. But still a good spot anyways. I will always find it difficult to spot dead still observers, right? +2 attack is coming. A couple High Templars building. Gateways, Zealots, Prism all coming up. It is 2-2 on the side of ByuN as well, just starting now. So for 2-2 versus the just +2. herO gets Blinkstein. Obviously, Twilight upgrades were delayed because it was Phoenix Colossus to start, and he went charge initially off the Twilight Council. Now will move into Blink though. So gets that started up. A couple Vikings are still on the move. Cyclone's coming back once again. It's going to push the Oracle back over to the sides, and it's a little bit of a push on the move from ByuN. Can he really get across the map successfully here? It's a great question. A hard one to say. That comes down the south, just going to knock through some rocks. Open this up a little bit, and we do have ourselves the Zard Archon Phoenix continue to push on through. Extra Stalkers warping in, and this army of herO just on the push. This is what I expected. herO having the economy will build into this army very powerfully, very quickly. On his way to disrupt us, there's a next set of tech behind this as well, but the way that this push is going, I don't even know if that's going to be necessary. The army supplies are in favor of ByuN, but I do not feel like the army quality is in favor of ByuN at all. The Archons and Colossus here are huge. We are seeing some Ghosts added on though from ByuN, so that's a big stepping stone in the right direction. Those can do a lot for you. Let's see if hero's attack in will be successful. First EMPs on those Archons, softening them up very quickly. Phoenix just kind of diving in and doing what they can. Colossus want to make sure they're shooting at those bio units, making sure they're not kind of getting caught up in attacking depots in the background or anything. Vikings get rid of one Colossus, but the ground army of ByuN's already been melting. Now a Disruptor will zone out up the ramp as we continue to warp in, reinforcing Stalkers to protect the last two Colossus, but the Prism goes down. With no Prism, maybe there is some hope here as we try to cancel up that base. And turn back onto the army as, again, the Colossus are hard to get on top of here with just these few bio units. The Ghosts are going to be a lot of this, but they don't have too much energy, so Ghosts are kind of good in some circumstances when they're left to auto-attack. In this case, I don't think it's really what you need, although we will get the dive through. Another Colossus dead. In the end, ByuN just says that this is too much, too powerful, can't really do too much extra about it. And we have ourselves a game number one going the way. In the top left-hand side, down a map will be the blue Terran player. Looking for the bounce back here on Oceanborn, it is ByuN. Unfortunately, this was not his map pick, this was his opponent's map pick. His map pick was the first game he's lost on already. As in the bottom left, sorry, bottom right. Get our directions correct. Southeast, it is going to be the red Protoss player herO with a 1-0 lead in the best of 5 series. Probe super early across the map, wants to be here to check if there's any potential proxies going on, wants to know the barracks is here straight away, so looks to get that information immediately. That's something that the probe will be very happy with, being able to grab from the very get-go, so yeah, we get in there and grab some info. So that's something to be very happy about. Probe nibbling, SCVs are fighting. Next in the gate coming up. Nexus is on the way from herO, so the expansion does begin. Getting that up and rolling. As we see the SCV just trying to fight off this probe. A little bit of a complication arising from this. Just for the moment. They're going to be done in a second. Nexus building. Probe and Cybercore all on the way. Everything looking good. Pretty so far. Roll 5 Pylon will be taking some damage. Hops back up, and we do move back into the main base. Going to go after some of those probes. Dabs is going to come shading about. Cyclone on the way, reactor building up. Gal Stargate about to finishing on the side of herO, and again, this Adept of herO continuing to shade to the upper left-hand side. Chrono boosting out a probe as we go. That reactor on the barracks still coming up here is, again, the Adept shading by for the moment. Looking okay, looking good. Cyclone popping. And Reaper moves into this main base and is going to go for a little bit of information gathering. Going to try and pick off some probies. First probe going down pretty quick as you'll see a grenade dropping as well. And that is a catch from the Reaper. So Reaper just dead, but at least we do, kill a probe and we get to see the Oracle building, so we know exactly what the setup is. Obviously, especially seeing the Oracle building, it could be just straight to Phoenix as well, right? So it does tell you a lot about the exact setup of your opponent. So the scouting is very good. Okay, Deb's gonna go fighting for a moment. And we do get rid of a few SCVs. The fact they're in the main base and can one-shot SCVs is dangerous. 4, 5 workers, at least going down. 6. Cyclone takes a while to kill here. There's actually going to be the Cyclone locked onto the highest HP Adept as well, which means it had the longest amount of time to deal damage. These Adepts get 10 workers. Huge damage for herO. Way more than you should be getting. Disaster for ByuN. I mean, that is just so much damage dealt. Cyclones. I have to turn around here to protect the fresh mules. One goes down, another SCV. ByuN's economy is just not meant to be today. Not in this game. herO looking to set himself up brilliantly for game 2, and a series is up 1-0 in. He doesn't have much army supply, so that's the only concern, is maybe ByuN can find some damage with these Cyclones on the other side of the map, and maybe with a larger push on a follow-up. That is the biggest issue for ByuN, for herO right now. The kind of the right here in this moment kind of setup is we are supply blocked as herO too. So we lose a few probes, and ByuN will start to get himself back in this. The more probes he kills, oracles will activate. We lift up, we back away, but 4 probes, definitely something to undo the work that herO got up until now. Losing an Oracle. Now the Stalkers, though, are going to be able to hit the Medevac, and the Medevac cannot get away from this. The Medevac will die. We will get 1 more Oracle, though. Well, honestly, not bad. 2 Cyclones and Medevac for 2 Oracles. Multiple probes. Reasonable for herO, but of course still has been on a worker lead throughout this, and that is going to be one of the bigger advantages as we move on through. Marines are going to grab a Phoenix, able to take that out. The Cyclone there as well, also able to get a grab. So again, nicely done. Cloak coming up, Banshee pops. Just going to go and get the one Banshee out, cancel the cloak and move away, realizing it's been scouted. Doesn't see the value in committing further into that any longer, so decides not to go for that a second time. Still got that +1 starting up on the Forge. The Blink is halfway done, and a couple of additional gateways building through as well. Oracle drops a Revelation on the Banshee. Obviously, there's no cloaking, so this doesn't matter too much. It's one of the scarier pushes that ByuN will have, especially because Blink is not done. The Stalkers would love to do some work, but any move they have, again, is going to be blinkless. They cannot get away as easily. 10 seconds still blink. It's a little bit less than 10 seconds because the side time, it works in Blizzard time still, not real time. So Blink now done. We hallucinate a Colossus, even if it just attracts a tank shot or 2. That would be huge. Stalker's going to be taking the tank shots for now, though. Bio is going to go and start fighting. We lift up the other siege tank. If this was a real Colossus, I'd be such a believer, but it's not. And ByuN's army is absolutely packing punches. It is, unfortunately, for herO looking tough here. Now, again, if he can just hold on, ByuN is only on the 2 bases. herO's got 3 base economy. His economy is great. It's the army supply that's not great. Trying to get a charge, trying to get to another upgrade. Hallucination is going to get shot down. The Stalker Force just can't do well enough here, I think, against the Marines at the end of the day is the problem. Get a tank, though, and again, little things. Moments like this where you can kind of get the tank and, not lose too much in the process is decent. Now a lot of Zealots warping in. We're not on charge yet, but we're getting close to it. Charge would be a great answer. These Stalkers are finding some good value. We're actually just going to go chargeless. Force field drops down, trap a few of the Marines. The Zealots are going to be able to absorb some of the damage here, and the Stalkers with the Super Battery able to hold on. herO making a pretty darn good defense of this right now. Unfortunately, the Zealots are all gone. Good micro on the tank as well to save it. At least with the next round of Zealots, we will have charge. That makes a big difference. Is it just too much for ByuN, though? Well, honestly, army supplies are closer than they have been. Robo gets repowered. Immortal going to be out in a second. Stalkers blink back out the right-hand side. We actually blink a few of them in. We are going to get rid of this bunker. Tank on the back trying to siege up, but these Stalkers are going to commit to get it. They eat a shot, they lose 2 of them, but they get rid of the tank, and that's huge. Another warp in of just masses of units, and you can see the supply now swinging in hero's favor. That's the economy really starting to kick in with all of the gateway forces available to be warped in as well. And herO will defend. Man, that was a clutch defense. That got a little bit scary. In fact, that got very scary. Stalkers and Immortal moving about. Stalkers get a couple more picks. We are going to see RoboBay in a second facility coming through, and ByuN's is going to say GG. He does not think he's done enough to stay in this game. He's out of here. Third CC was too far off. Her actually living her best life. She was like, honestly, just so happy. Everyone was giving her attention, and she just getting to go out like multiple hours a day. She was just loving it. We went on like a little hike, and she was just like bounding around, leaping over rocks and climbing over fences, and whatever she had to do. She was just like, oh my god, a challenge? Okay. Forward barracks from ByuN Heroes again to Dynasty. It's one of the weirder maps because of that in-base gold that points outwards. Typically, map games don't end up super long on this map because of the engagements over the gold that happen. And this one might not last long because ByuN just decides to play very heavy proxy right from the get-go anyway. So gets that barracks straight down in the center. The couple of refineries still coming up. SCV still coming through. Nexus will go down, so we get the Nexus started. The Cyber Core is building. We'll see ByuN has got himself that Rax in the center, Reaper on the way. SCV can just check if there was a gold base coming up early. Sees no gold, SCV can now back away, store some minerals. How will herO ever recover with theft like this going on from his back doorstep? Nigh on impossible, surely. Brutal world that we live in. SCV will just go home. Factory's at home as well from ByuN. There will be factory before expanding. That means he's definitely looking towards, well, we already knew he's going to be fairly aggressive, but he's going to kind of stick to that idea of aggression as well. It's going to be our early few moments. Keep it dancing with the probes. Probe is going to go down, so a little bit more damage dealt. Stargate building. Nexus is about to be done. And Rack's coming through as well, so we continue to bring all of this just up and into play as best we can. So far the defense is good. Adept blocking that Reaper back away out of here, so just going to shove that off to the sides. Stargate coming up to completion. Rack's and the reactor coming in. Get a few shots off on the Reaper here, so Reaper taking a few more hits. Is going to go down. Cyclone producing. Few adepts to sit out the front of the natural, and we get ready to maybe even take the gold pile on there. Might just be for vision for now. I'd imagine you take the gold as well, though. I mean, it's not the craziest suggestion of all time. Stimpack starting up. Engineering Bay and a barracks continue through. Phoenix pops out of the Stargate. So a Cyclone gets there. The Phoenix gets pushed back around. Siege Tank, Marine, Stim, all coming about. A few more of these Marines come through, and the Phoenix will get turned around once again. So a little bit of a pushback there, a little bit of competition being made. And Starport coming up, Stimpack and +1 coming through, extra Marines all building. Just have ourselves the Phoenix still patrolling at the front, a third Phoenix coming across as well. Team mine up on the gold for the moment. And the Phoenix gonna just find some little bits and pieces, SCVs, always great catches. Utilizing that energy early, dealing some damage, slowing down the Terran Eco. ByuN is now finishing his Starport, so he will get Medivacs out to help with the Stimpack, which he's got access to. Means that he's not just going to have one Stim to win the game in, he's going to have a few different shots at it. So healing is a very big deal. +1, Combat Shield, both coming through. Medivac, Marine Marauder coming out. Our Phoenix will fire up again. Couple of Medivacs taking some hits. The turret shoots. Phoenix will take a bit of damage. Nexus halfway done. Extended Thermal Lens coming about. And the Fear Devs is going to come over. He's going to go after those SCVs. So you try and push back any mining on the gold as best as you can. Because the shells is about to be on the way from ByuN as well. +1 already done. Time passing though, and herO just kind of getting away with moving to 3 bases. Game is fairly passive overall. Totally not a pylon. Thank you so much for the 34-month resub on the Prime. Welcome back. Appreciate it. herO actually hit supply block off that pylon loss, so we'll actually have a little bit of an impact. Oh, that's a big deal. Phoenix catching the Medivac. We're going to commit for the full one. I mean, it wasn't really full anymore, but it still had a few units in. So we commit to get the 1 kill. Obviously, there's a situation there where you could have argued that maybe our Phoenix were a little bit overcommitting. Maybe you just let that Medivac get away, but not going to be the plan, as our Medivac still building up. +1 attack, charge coming through, additional gates all building, Colossus on the way, additional probes popping as well. My Ghost Academy still coming through. Phoenix joined back up into the right side. We do have the bio pulling back in the natural. Ghost Academy finishing. That turret shooting. The Phoenix taking some hits there. Again, a couple more Vikings are still on the way out, and we've got ourselves a cannon forge. A couple gates coming through. The Ghosts are producing through from ByuN as well. Make that 3 Ghosts, a couple Vikings. Bio's there, and the Phoenix do get pushed away to the sides. SCV's already dropping. 3 workers killed right from the get-go. More SCVs go down, so a little bit more damage done. And Templar Archives is building up here, so we get that Templar Archives on the way as well. Those 2 attack and +1 armor building up from herO. And just get those double forges on the way. So double forge coming about. Blink is halfway done. Still got the Phoenix. Actually going to try and grab a Medivac there. Not quite able to get it. Phoenix dive through. A bunch of these SCVs beginning to go down. There's going to be 4 or 5 workers. Again, it's just nice damage. These Phoenix are very controlling as ByuN wants to get out to the center of the map. Just being slowed down by this aggression. So 3 more workers killed here. It does mean the Phoenix are using their energy in this base, so they're not going to have them for the fight as much. And they might actually need to recall these Phoenix to home. Yeah, that's what hero's going to do. He's afraid of the main army advancing in and him not having the Phoenix there to help protect, right? So, makes sense. I can understand the thought process. Rex coming through. hero's Phoenix. Again, just toying with the army. He actually loses one of the Phoenix there, but the idea is good, which is just, you know, checking to see where that army is at, keeping vision on it is quite important as we do knock our way through the set of rocks in the center. Plus 2 attack finishing up from hero. Mark-on finishing up as well. We just see this Bioforce still pulling back over that right side. Protoss Force in the center. Ooh, EMP plus Viking shots there. Deadly onto the first Phoenix. Good EMP again. Another good EMP. Immortal getting caught on that. Stalker's taking some hits, and they're thinking about what they want to do, thinking about trying to jump across onto those tanks. That doesn't end well. The Cyclone locking on, pushing the Stalkers back as well. Both players coming up being maxed out at the moment. Sense Tower coming in. The Vikings are still building as well. Marine Marauder, 2-2 upgrades. All the good stuff is being added on right now. And Disruptor not far from finishing here as well, on top of everything else. Single Zealot charges through. Depot is going to be taking a couple of shots. Zealots are going to turn around onto the Sense Tower. SCVs move down the right-hand side. We're going to see the Zealots back up to the top as well. Just going to see our command center is going to live. This game's been fairly... I mean, we know we've had the Phoenix harass and stuff, but in terms of larger fights, have been a little bit absent. We had a Medevac that got killed, a couple of Phoenix dying while harassing a few Zealots. It's really been a game of building up and now max out armies. So you're going to see ByuN on his way to the fusion course. He's looking to open up the Liberator range upgrade, of course. I'm going to get rid of a lot of those Vikings, and they're shooting at Phoenix, which means that the Colossus are staying alive through this. Which means you still have full splash damage available here as hero chasing this down. Well, there's a couple of EMPs. Another stim. ByuN's army is hurting. No, that's a lot of HP that's missing off it. Trying to back away. We've got 4 medevacs. They do have a lot of energy, but they're going to have to work overtime to get those units healed up. There is a lot of healing to be done right now, as the Protoss Force comes all the way back to the upper right. Plus 2 armor about to finish up. EMP goes down on the few Zealots. Looks though we're going to gather together, knock down a couple of these command centers. Disruptor fires in, hits down the first Marine. Another command center going to get shot at, going to get taken out. Initial pops. hero believes he can just keep pushing in. Honestly, it's a bit of a choke, but I don't hate the push in because, quite frankly, this army is so low. The Colossus diving deep, though, to be able to get the shots off. The Vikings are doing well. I think hero might have overcommitted a little bit. He's got Immortals left on the ground. Are they going to be enough? Absolutely not. Obviously, no retreat potential with Immortals either. Enough bio remaining on the end of this. Both players will actually come out fairly similar supplies. Thought it was going to be worse for ByuN than it was, as this Disruptor will go down as well, though, so... Man, I mean, honestly, I can understand why hero wanted to go. That army was on the orange hit points. The fact it was low HP probably made up for it being such an abysmal fight into a heavy choke, right? So you can understand why he did it, but obviously still kind of backfiring to some extent. These Stalkers here firing up the command center. Zealot will charge forward, going after the Bioforce. Disruptor getting caught. The rest of the Zealots still charging through. Stalkers now going to hit that CC a bit further. I can't believe hero is still fighting into this position, although he is 3-2 against just 1-2. So these Zealots are very difficult to kill when you're missing that many upgrades. Finally, we get rid of the Zealots. That's when the Stalkers should just be looking to get back out of here. They trade as best they can for as long as they can. That base on that forward position was denied. hero expanding like crazy. The map is covered in blue bases. One more shots coming out. These odds will still charge through. Ghosts, Vikings, Bio. Gonna get chased into. High Templars getting some feedbacks off, and ByuN just says GG. He does not think his army can stand and fight any longer. And that's gonna do it. herO with the 3-0 to wrap up today's games in the Kung Fu Cup. Congratulations, herO.